Okay, all right. Peggy, you're on mute. So if you want, anybody want to be unmuted, now is your time to chit chat. Just get it out of your system. And then, okay, all of a sudden everybody shuts up. What time is it? All right.
Robin, you were talking about your retirement. How did that occur?
Okay, we're at 59. We'll wait until a few more people get here.
How many do you have RSVP'd?
We had almost 100 actually.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
But yeah, because there's a lot going on. People want to know what's happening. We're not able to, to gather together. So I think on the meetup site, we said we are going to start the trip status. Did we put a time down or did we
No,
just put 6:30?
We just said get on at 6:30 and we.
Okay, so we could do it anytime. It's only 6:34, so let's wait another 2 minutes and then we'll start.
Are there any newbies here?
Oh, good question.
Yes, I'm new.
Hi, welcome.
Oh, Maxine,
I'm
hello,
Joan.
Maxine. Welcome.
Hi.
You're not new,
Welcome.
Joan.
I'm in Colorado.
Oh, and Sherry,
Hey.
where did you say you are? Who's in Colorado?
Maxine.
Maxine.
Oh, Maxine's in Colorado. Okay.
I'm Carol's friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Sherry, are you new?
I've been trying to get on a trip. Morocco was supposed to be my first trip, and then of course
Okay.
COVID happened. And I've come to a couple of the meetings at Emmett's Brewing.
Oh,
Was
yeah,
it
okay.
Emmett's? Yes, I've been to a couple of dinners there, travel dinners, and I had planned on Morocco being my first trip, and then of course COVID. So I was
Yeah,
coming in to hear the updates.
Well, we're still hopeful. We're not giving up on all the trips next year.
Yes,
Welcome, Sherry.
Yeah.
thank
Tell us
you.
how much fun it is to talk to everybody, that we really get to know all the people on the trip. So it's really a great way to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing all the pictures from the group tours, I'm just like, I just need to get on the tour. I just need to get on the tour. And the timing for Morocco was gonna be perfect because it's our 25th wedding anniversary. So we're like, oh, we'll get to celebrate our anniversary. And you all have been to all these places, so you know exactly where to tell us to go for like the best pictures and trying to do food. So we were just so excited. We were so excited.
We're still excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We're not giving
Yes,
up.
we are.
Okay, I'm gonna scroll to
2021
the
is gonna
next
be the
page.
year.
Anybody else
2021.
around here? We have 3 pages of people I need to go. Oh, Barb Milby, there she is. Hey. Oh my God, what's happened to your arm?
Oh, I had 3 shoulder surgeries on my arm 5 weeks ago.
Oh my.
No.
It's an immobilizer sling. 1 more week.
Oh boy. Oh, there you are.
She just wants to be a swashbuckler.
She does. Yeah, you need it. All right, so I'm gonna go. Okay,
Hi,
we got
Debbie Z.
3 pages.
Hi, Audrey.
Oh, hi.
Oh, look at her, Debbie Zielinski. Hi, I haven't seen you in a long time. My roomie from Paris. All right, so let's see. We got.
Oh,
Terry.
there's Barbara.
Is that Kathy Messier I see up there? Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm just looking at all the names here. Oh, there's Tasha. Hi, Tasha. I'm Ann, for those that haven't met me. All right, and this one just says iPad.
Yeah.
Barbara. All right.
By the way, Ann, thank you for sending a reminder about this because that was my first notification. So
Oh, get out of here.
Network, whatever.
Oh, really?
Hi,
It's been
Robin.
added to the website. I must have something turned off.
Uh-oh. Well, all I can say is, don't you have a bigger coffee cup?
I do not.
Is that really coffee?
No, this is actually chai tea.
Oh,
The
it's
Starbucks
Oh,
cup, though.
Kathy's got wine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just straight vodka. I thought, what the hell? No, I'm not.
I'd like everyone to know that this exercise machine behind me here was used just 2 days ago. So it's not just.
Oh,
Good job.
I'm proud
Not
of you.
just
Job.
for show.
No clothes draped on it or anything.
Happy
It's a nice
retirement.
strap for you.
It's not a virtual background that you
Yeah.
virtually
Yeah.
exercise?
That I'm not
Oh
gonna
my
do.
gosh. All right, so let's see here. I'm trying to find Terry. There she is. Okay. So, let's see here. Okay, so I told you guys we're all being recorded. We've got 64 people here right now. And, where's that list? Oh, participants, there it is.
48. I have.
Okay, so,
Well, we're 2.
now while we're talking, you can always put things in the chat box.
Yeah.
And we'll, you can do a chat and we'll try and keep up with that. I'm looking
Yeah.
up here.
So while Ann's talking, I will watch the chat box, and if there's questions relevant to what she's talking about, I'll relay them to her and vice versa. Otherwise, we'll leave it to the end.
Mhm. Yep. That sounds good. All right, so should I go ahead and, do you think it's time to safe enough to mute everybody?
I got 640.
Yeah, I have 64.
I was talking about the time.
Oh.
Four.
Well, all right. Okay, we
Hey,
just
you
got
better
new
mute us
person here.
because, you know.
All right, we're gonna get started in 1 minute. You're being recorded, so let's go back. Okay, we got John, Jim, Peggy, Rita. Okay, so we are gonna go ahead and get started. I am going to mute everybody, and I'm just gonna unmute Terry. So Terry and I will, oops, wait, that's not it. Pardon me. All right, participants, mute all. Mute all current, yes, mute all. Okay, everybody is muted. Now I gotta find Terry on this list and unmute her. Oh, here's search, how about that? Okay, T-E-R-I, Terry. Ask to unmute. Okay, and done. All right, so Terry, I had to ask you to unmute you, so there you go. So
Yep.
Terry, say something, so I know you're there.
I am here.
Okay, good.
Are you there? Okay.
Well, greetings, everybody. So glad you're here. Okay, we are going to talk about a bunch of stuff. And if you have a question, jot it down on a piece of paper. And then at the end, we'll have questions. First of all, what a nutty mess this was. I want to put out a disclaimer that we'd never gone through this before. So on Meetup, trying to keep up with everything, there were so many changes. We just couldn't keep the Meetup site up to date. It seemed like once one thing happened, then another thing happened. So we apologize for any discrepancies and, trying to get things up there as soon as we can. We're trying to figure out a better communication system. I think we've got one now. A lot of times a trip will say canceled, but it's really just been rescheduled. Or, so we're trying to work on that. And what I've been trying to do, at least I think that Terry and I are in agreement, is wherever the old trip was, if it's been changed and it's a future event, we'll put the link to the new one so that because just to make it easier to find it. Because now that we've got trips out through 2022, I mean, you're scrolling forever. You just have to keep letting the page load with more events. So it's just great. I'd like to say that we're done changing things, but with everything being so, it's still up in the air. Welcome whoever joined us. You're being recorded. We're all recording this, and we just got started. But there could be more changes possible. I mean, right now we've dealt with trips through February of 2021. So that Lapland was the last one that we've had to reschedule so far. But if this thing, we've got the Mekong in March, blah blah blah. So just check your emails, and there may be more changes coming up. I hope not. We're hopeful about a lot of trips, but crossing our fingers. We're both really disappointed we can't see you all face to face in person, and to that end, we're trying to find new ways to keep in touch and stay excited about traveling and stuff. And on that note, I'm gonna turn it over to Terry.
We're gonna just talk quick about some of the things that we've been doing, and hope you guys are, willing to join us on. But I also just wanted to comment that, since March, Ann and I have really been putting our focus on trying to get you refunds through both airlines and the trips, and preserve, the money, either through a refund or a voucher, preserve the money that you invested in those trips. And I think we did pretty good. I got some people out there with airline vouchers, and I feel like that's a loose end, but Ann and I were talking today, and we're going to really try and ensure that those are used before they're expired and et cetera. So I just wanted to say, sometimes it seems like, well, why aren't they working on that? And it's like, well, really our first priority was refunds and making sure that you didn't actually lose any money. So, so other ways that we're gonna try and keep in touch with you, as you know, on the Divas side, I started a travel adventure book club. So we're reading a book every month. I think Saturday is our third meeting. And started TripFlix, like a book club, but movies. So a little easier to do, you know, you could do it the day of if you decide you have free watch.
But I want to clarify something. Somebody came to one and thought we were going to watch the movie together. No, that's not how it goes. You watch the movie and I picked, like, we started with The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and there's some questions there so that when you watch the movie, you know, you have some things in your mind to see why. It kind of explains why I chose that movie. The next one is The Way, and it's about the Camino de Santiago Trail on Monday. Anyway, so the way that works is you RSVP for it, then you watch the movie on your own as close to the event as possible so that you can remember it. And anyway, and I've screened a lot of movies, and I picked out these movies for various reasons. And anyway, so that's the TripFlix little series.
Yeah, I'm not reading the books before I recommend them. I'm just going for it. So
well, books are a little more of a time investment. Yeah.
So far, you know, they've been good. The first one was really good. The second one was funny but weird, and the third one is really interesting. I'm almost done. Then I decided to start a photo contest, and one of the things Ann and I have to do, so Robin, this is right up your alley. One of the things that Ann and I have to do is we have to post a picture on every one of our meetup sites. And a lot of times that is a little bit challenging because when you go out looking for photos, you're using maybe stuff that's got a trademark or a copyright or something, and it makes me nervous. So for the Grand Canyon, I decided to ask for people's pictures. And so I did get quite a few submissions, and I really hope that I could announce who the winner was tonight, but I just ran out of time today. So for the Grand Canyon trip, one of your photos will be the one on the meetup site, you know, that announces that trip. So I will continue to do that as I repost the trips, because, you know, I don't know where I got most of those pictures from. So watch for that. And I'll post that. That's on the, just like TripFlix is on the My Travel Meetup site, book club and photo contest are on.
We're trying to do little bit of different things. A lot of you are in both clubs, which is, you know, then you see all of it, but I'm doing the photo scavenger hunt instead, where I post every Sunday what the hunt is going to be, and I list the pictures I want, and then you have that whole week to get them together and put those and post those photos. And like this one, you know, was on animals, and I know a lot of you have done safaris and, you know, get really good pictures of animals. So there's a lot of good pictures up there. And then of course the pictures that are submitted, you know, you can't use them for anything else and without the person's permission. But it's kind of a fun way to make us peruse through our photos and then, you know, kind of relive some of the fun things we did and share it, because I love seeing, you know, I mean, we keep singling out Robin and some of the other really good photographers, but it's just fun to see them. You know, there's so much talent out there.
It's almost like we're traveling.
Yeah. And then we're looking into a possible virtual Amazing Race. I don't know. That's a lot of work. So we're just thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to make you eat borscht over that. You have to record yourself. I don't know.
Yeah. And then of course, Terry and I are both on Facebook. So, you know, absolutely feel free, you know, to friend us or like our pages, and then you'll see a lot of stuff there too. We're also going to try to go back to having our what used to be our monthly dinners, and do something like, you know, like have a guest speaker, especially with Zoom. Now we could get anybody in the, you know, all over the world, have a guest speaker or have a trivia night or just have a get together night, but try to do it via Zoom so that we can kind of interact with you guys and that. Terry, did you want to add anything else to the way to keep in touch?
Yeah, still had the list I was going off of.
All right.
Yeah, and so one of the things with like the guest speakers might be some of you. So one of the things I'm getting asked about a lot is another trip to Alaska. And we've been to Alaska. So I'm gonna contact some of the people that went to Alaska and ask, do you want to share a couple pictures? Do you want to jump on a Zoom meeting with me? And get as a crew, talk about our that we had in Alaska, and maybe what we do different, what we would keep the same. And, then maybe in a couple of years, there'll be another trip to Alaska. And then another thing, I actually started it a couple months ago, and then I got really busy with actually trying to reschedule these trips and stuff. And that was Know Your Fellow Traveler. So I was starting to collect information about one of our members, and was just going to post it on the meetup site. And it was just a Know Your Traveler and a picture of that person and a little questionnaire about what was their favorite trip and some other stuff like that. So don't be surprised if I contact you to do that.
Awesome.
So then next, I was going to check the chat. I guess I'm not seeing anything in it.
Oh, I see a chat. Yeah, wait a minute.
Maybe I can't see them.
Oh, somebody wrote the movie nights have been fun. Thanks, Linda and Sherry.
I can't see them. You're going to have to do that.
Oh, okay.
Mine's empty.
Okay.
Oh, everyone maybe.
All right. Okay.
No, nothing in mine. Okay.
Okay. So I think now, are we ready to move on to what happened to all the trips of 2020? We're gonna break it into 3 ways. We're gonna start with what happened to 2020, what's going on with 2021, and then 2022. And then after that, we'll talk about some other things, including your questions. So we're gonna do them chronologically. So the first trip affected by COVID was Terry's Thailand trip that was supposed to be in February. So take it away.
It was supposed to be in March.
March, sorry.
We were leaving March 20th, and of course everything closed down March 16th. I think they actually canceled our trip on Friday the 13th for that. And so in this part, we're just going to talk really briefly about what happened to that trip and the status of it. So in March, on like I said, March 13th, they canceled that trip. And I I did reschedule it for this November. We would have been leaving on Saturday, I believe. And of course, that's been canceled. So, that's all I'll say about that for now until we get to the next version of Thailand. So,
okay,
South Africa's next.
Okay. Yep, South Africa. So Thailand is now February 2022. South Africa, again, this couldn't have happened at a worse time. We've already filled up 2021. So South Africa also is moved to 2022. We still have all 3 departures. We are pretty much, someone is in South Africa for the entire month of May between the 3 groups. So that's rescheduled to 22. The Gorillas, my group of gorilla trekkers, is rescheduled to next year. At the time we rescheduled it, I never dreamt in a million years that we'd even still be talking about COVID right now, but that's in June, June 6th to the 11th, not counting the travel time so far. And I'll talk about that more later. And then Terry's gorilla group. What are your dates, Terry?
My old dates were June 11th through the 16th, right after the South Africa tour. The new dates are May 21st through 27th of 2021.
And what we did was, because Morocco next year is in May, we thought we're already in Africa. So a lot of the people that signed up for Morocco were on our gorilla trek. So Terry's doing a group of gorilla trekking before Morocco, and my group is after Morocco. So that's why we put them apart like that. The next trip that got ruined was Switzerland. And that one, we haven't got new dates yet, but it's postponed right now until 2022. We were hoping to push it to 2021, but we sent out an email to everybody and people at that time said they're not, they don't want to go then. They think it's too soon. So tentatively, Switzerland is in the summer of 2022. Terry, Nova Scotia?
And Nova Scotia was originally July 23rd through August 2nd of the summer. And again, COVID ruined that one too. It is tentatively, and I'm just, it's not for sure yet. I kind of working with these dates, June 16th through the 24th in 2022. It's not written in stone yet, but those are the dates I'm looking at.
Okay.
And then Sicily.
Yeah, Sicily. Sicily, we have, it's postponed. There are no dates set for it yet. That was a custom trip and it's got so many moving pieces. I don't think we're gonna fit it in this year. So my guess is that's gonna be another 2022.
Okay.
And then after Sicily.
Oh, wait, can we, Ann, I have a question for you.
Yes.
From Robin, our vouchers on Switzerland will expire before, I can't see the whole thing, August 22nd. Is the tour company extending them?
Yes, they're actually,
August of
valid.
22.
They're valid through the end of 2022. Where'd Robin go? There he is. They're valid through the end of 2022. So we will make sure that they are honored. Yeah. Okay, and then the next one to bite the dust, New England?
Oh yeah, New England, okay. I was answering a chat.
Comedy of error, of tragedy, yeah.
New England originally was September 27th, and I've moved it to September 25th through October 2nd of 2022.
Okay, so that's 2022. Silk Road, we have 2 groups going. Both groups have been rescheduled to this to 2022, same time frame. And we're going to go into more detail on each trip when we get to it. And then, after Silk Road, the next up again, and I think you already talked about it.
Highland.
Yeah, okay.
So I rescheduled it to November, and like I said, we would have been leaving Saturday. It got canceled again. So there's nothing worse than rescheduling a trip than rescheduling it a second time. And I got anybody, Sherry, Linda, anybody who's signed up for that trip, thank you guys for being so patient and so great about it. You guys have all been really wonderful and so easy to work with. It's like, well, do you want to just move it to 22 and keep, yeah, let's go. So
yeah,
thank
you guys have been awesome.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last trip to be affected so far is Lapland. And Lapland, we pushed it to February 23rd of 22. And the reason I made it a little bit later is so that the people going to Antarctica have time in between the 2 trips. So that concludes trips that have been messed up by COVID.
Yes.
So the next trip we hope to take is Terry. You want to take Mekong? That'll be, and we're talking 2021 now.
Yeah. So the Mekong River Cruise was originally scheduled for March 11th through the 28th. And when I'm giving these dates, it includes an air date on either side. So March 11th through the 28th, and it's still scheduled for those dates. Now, a lot of people are skeptical that that trip is going to go. And so I've started to kind of look at the possibility of rescheduling it in 22. If you caught the picnics that Ann and I had, we talked about how we left the first 4 months of 22 open so that we could just slide those trips over if we needed. So if I had to reschedule it, it would be in March of 22. But at this point, it's still a go. And I think I'm just gonna kind of wait at least another month and just see how things are. You know, are we getting a vaccine? Are things improving anywhere? At this point, I don't think Globus is going to cancel it this far out yet. So, but they have a peace of mind policy. And if we decide that we're not comfortable with going, we can take our deposits and our insurance and just move them to that 2022 date with no penalty. So that might be a possibility. The only thing I want to say, there's, no, if I do that, there's no changes to the itinerary. And I just want to mention that the trip and the dates I gave do include a pre-cruise extension in Hanoi and Halong Bay. And if anybody wants to go, like I said, you can, it's open for RSVPs. The deposit is $250. And if you pay your deposit and we don't go this March, it would go in March of 22.
It just slides over. The next trip, oh, I'm sorry, Terry, are you done with Mekong?
Yeah, I am.
The next trip after that is the leisurely trip, a week in Paris. And that trip is, nothing has changed with it. We're still hopeful for it. It might be a good first trip of if something happens to Mekong. Now remember, all these things are pending if they'll let us in. So hopefully if these countries won't let us in, then clearly we're not, we're dead in the water on that. But I thought Paris, that I speak French. It's a very loosely structured trip. You can, go at it leisurely. I can help you. We'll have our own travel concierge to set things up for us individually or together. It is 1 night overnight flight and then 6 nights in Paris. And I plan to take a day trip to Bruges, jump on the train. I did that before. That was fun. And there's, I've been to Paris a million times, and it's one of those cities. I speak French. So that was like the first, in high school, that was my first trip overseas. So I really know a lot about it. And I'll make sure that we do fun stuff. The last time we were there, we did a croissant cooking class, and, we really had a good time. I went ahead and got my air because American Airlines has a nonstop. So I booked my airline ticket. I don't want to do it for anybody else because I don't want to be responsible if it gets canceled. So if you're sitting on a bunch of American Airline miles, you would need to leave the US on April 17th, and the trip ends April 24th. So if you have enough miles and you want to put a ticket on hold, that's the dates you would want to do. Like I said, I'm on that nonstop to Paris. Now there's something else we forgot to mention. We were able to get all of your, remember your welcome back credits. You got $250 for going to Japan. You got $150 for going to Easter Island. You got $100 for going to Croatia, and $100 for going. Well, we applied all those to trips that have been canceled. So all those welcome back credits have been reinstated in your names. So if you have welcome back credits, right now, Globus is having a special until Monday that they're worth double. So if you have your eye on one of the Globus trips include Mekong, Paris, Morocco, and Grand Canyon, Terry?
No, you can't do Grand Canyon.
Oh,
It's
that's right. It can't be in the
America.
US.
Yeah,
And Tuscany,
Tuscany.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because it has to be next year. So if you're going on any of those, you might want to get your deposit in sooner than, by Monday, so that you get the bonus. But you get your welcome back credits no matter what. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're not comfortable depositing, I don't blame you. It's so much easier to take a deposit than it is to give it back. So, so if you're, so that's that on that. And I meant to mention that earlier. So that is Paris.
Another comment on that though is that a lot of you have multiple welcome back credits, couple, and we think you can use 2. We don't know if they'll let you use more than that, but we're pretty sure you can use 2 of them.
Right. So if you did like Japan and Easter Island, that's $400 times, that's $800. So, I mean, they can add up. But again, that ends on Monday. So you'd have to call, Monday before noon.
And
The other,
can't be a
or
trip.
actually, you would have to email us, email Terry or me, if that's something you want to do. The next trip is the Georgia, Azerbaijan, and Armenia. And of course, you know, the Azerbaijan and Armenia have a little conflict going on right now. They're shooting at each other. They had a little war and now it's a conflict. So that one is undecided. We don't know what to do with that. It's like,
Okay, Anne,
Yeah.
question for Paris.
okay.
So Nancy Jean Rose wants to know, so should we book our own flights and when do we give you the deposit for the trip for Paris?
Let's see, if you want to do, if you have welcome back credits and you want to double them, you need to book it by by the end of the day on Monday. Otherwise, take your time with the deposit. And yeah, I've already got my air. So unless this trip is canceled, I'm going. So if it's just me and you, who was it that was asking?
Jean Rose.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so if it's just, what the hell, we'll have a great time. So I'm in, I'm going no matter what. And will be a little bit smaller group anyways. So, so feel free to get your air. The dates are, if you want to just do the dates that are on the trip, it's leaving US on April 17th. And I'm on the nonstop out of Chicago, coming back on April 24th. And that's next year. So, yep. Okay, so that is, where are we? Azerbaijan.
Gorilla Trek.
Gorilla with Terry.
Yeah,
So
so
fun stuff.
the Gorilla Trek is now separated from the South Africa trip, as Anne explained. It just made sense if we were going to Africa, why book 2 flights over and back, just do 1 trip. So my Gorilla Trek is now scheduled May 22nd through the 27th. And at this point, it's still going. The thing with the permits for the Gorilla Trek is they're more or less considered a donation. And I think typically, normally, if you don't show or you can't go for some reason, they say tough luck. But with COVID, they were willing to reschedule for us. So we were kind of afraid of how far out we could do that. And that's why we rescheduled it when we did. So we're hoping if for some reason we can't go, that they will definitely, let us do that again. But, and I think they will. I think they'll honor that. Nobody can help it. No, COVID's nobody's fault. So anyway, it's now attached to Morocco, and we did add a night in Kigali because before we were flying up from Johannesburg, and obviously we don't need to do that now. So we were adding an extra night in Kigali. That changed the price a little bit to add that extra hotel night. And the Serena in Kigali is a very nice hotel. So it would be very enjoyable time spent. And so most of the people in my Gorilla Trek are going on the Morocco trip, but I have 1 or 2 that are not. And so rather than us just going over there for, 4 or 5 days, I guess, decided to maybe add a quick trip to Kenya on the front end. So the order would be Kenya and the Gorilla Trek, and then Morocco if you're going to that. So you could go over and just spend a whole bunch of time in Africa and see a couple different countries. And I don't know if I had anything else. We still, once we get that set up, repost it on the sites. So you have the whole itinerary. And somewhere I wrote down my dates. Potentially adding a pre-trek extension to Kenya, and the dates of that would be May 27th through the 22nd. So if you put those 2 together, it'd be May 17th through the 27th. People can still RSVP and go on the Gorilla Trek as long as there's permits available. We would have to check on that.
Terry, you have a question in the chat box. Linda and Sherry asked if they've already put a deposit on Mekong, can they get the welcome pack credits doubled now?
No,
unfortunately, no, it's for new deposits only.
Yeah, you can't. Okay. All right, I'll have to check. I didn't think you had a deposit down. Oh, okay, they don't.
Oh, if they haven't got a deposit in, then that's quite
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, if you didn't, if you,
It was somebody else who asked that question. I don't think it was us. Because we're not going to
Oh.
Macon.
oh, sorry,
Wait a minute, let me look. Hold the phone here.
it says career and networking. Who wants to claim that?
Oh, wait, where'd it go? Here, chat. It was, it says from me to Linda and Sherry. Oh, no. Oh, career and networking.
Oh, okay. So I see you pointing at yourself, but it says career and networking. Oh, here, I'll unmute you if I can. No.
Who is it? Let me go. Hold on. Career and networking. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's Cheryl Cohn.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, Cheryl.
All right.
Yeah, you have deposited and yeah, you can't, it's gotta be a new booking. So
Yeah.
we can't do that.
All right.
We checked.
Yeah. Let's see. So that's you. Are you done about the gorillas there, girl? Terry?
Yep, no more to say.
Okay. And then next is Morocco, which is May 28th to June 6th. That one, we're hopeful. We haven't taken any deposits on it, but we will. The departure date from the US would be May 27th. I had a look at some of there's been no changes to that one because it's the original one that we booked. I did have a quick look at air. It's, it ranges anywhere from on Air France or Lufthansa had the best connections and it was $11.50-ish a ticket. And like I said, for now, we're not booking airline tickets. If you want to get your ticket, you can go right ahead, but we're just not comfortable doing that right now, especially through a consolidator, because then you can't deal directly with them to get your money back. You have to go through us and it just takes a step out of it for the moment. We will be adding that service back in, but not yet. Let's see here. There was a cheap one for $652 if you don't mind flying 25 hours to come home. So that's that. So Morocco, it's all good. After Morocco, my group is doing the gorillas. And actually most of the people, our group is like half and half. So a lot of us have already done Morocco. So we're going to go over on, we begin in Kigali on June 6th. And I want to say something about the gorilla trek. It's not as strenuous as I originally thought. I mean, you have to be able to hike for a few hours, but for $10, you get your own, it's not a Sherpa, a porter, and they'll carry all your stuff. And if you need help, they'll help you. Also, the gorilla families are all over the place. So, depending on your level of fitness, you might have a gorilla family that's closer. Whereas, somebody that's, 18 or 19, they can go, 20 miles that way and see that one. So anyway, so you still need to be in good shape. It is at an altitude, but it's not as terrible as I thought. I mean, I told people that it was like, climbing Mount Everest, and it's no such thing. It's not that bad. So,
It's at a higher elevation, which, some people are susceptible to, but they also go out early in the morning and find the families. So
Right.
you're wandering all over. They pretty much take you directly to where they are.
Well, and then also we're going to go see the golden monkeys, which are endangered. And we do, we spend our first 2 nights in Kigali, kind of get our jet lag over with. And then there are things to see in Kigali. That was listed as one of the coolest, a really good place to see stuff in Rwanda. And then from there, we drive to Volcanoes National Park. And so even though the permits are more money in Rwanda, it's a wash because we don't have to fly. Like in Uganda, you have to fly to where the gorillas are. We just drive right to Volcanoes National Park. We stay in that mountain lodge. We have a day to acclimate. The second day we do the gorilla trek. And then the next day we see the golden monkeys. And then the next day we're back to Kigali. Now, this is what Terry's adding, Kenya onto hers. I've already done Kenya and all that stuff. So I'm adding Zanzibar onto ours, and it's optional. 3 nights in Stone Town on the, on Zanzibar, and we'd do this, go see the spice tour. It's a world UNESCO heritage site, and just spend 3 nights there and then come back. So so that's what I'm looking into that. Now for my gorilla trek, it starts in Kigali June 6th and it ends on the June 11th. So I would do my extension to Zanzibar from June 11th to June 14th. So if you're interested in that, we probably will have to leave, we will have to leave on June 5th. I looked at Ethiopian Air, had a really good flight both ways. And anyway, so it looks like it would be, it's not gonna, it won't add a whole ton to add Zanzibar on there for 3 nights. And then it's kind of, we can figure out what we want to do when we get there. And again, this will be a smaller group. This will be, it's capped at 12, and I think I have 8 or 10. So anyway, so that's that one. Oh, I see we have 2 questions. Let me quickly see if those are, oh, yay, Zanzibar. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay. And I made a deposit on Mekong. Yay. All right. Oh,
Yes,
that's nice to
Karen.
have something to be excited about. Okay.
Yeah.
And the next one's mine also. So I'll go ahead and keep talking. Get a drink. It's Mongolia and Siberia. I'm hopeful that we start traveling earlier next year than later. And I forgot to mention that Terry said that I've got a board here. It's like a puzzle. I've got magnets with all the trips on them and the dates, and I'm moving them around. And anything in the first quarter that we can't do is going to slide over. That's why we left the first part of 2022 open. And the trips that could happen to that we're looking at are her Mekong. Paris might be one. Georgia, Azerbaijan, we're going to table that one for the moment. And it's completely undecided because of the war. And then, gorillas and, anyway, gorillas and at the end of May or mid-May, and then Morocco. Hopefully those are all, I hope we don't have to worry about those. So anyway, but those first couple of ones, Mekong and Paris, those might, and Mekong's in March. So that's so anyway, so we've got a contingency plan. But back to Mongolia and Siberia, I'm super hopeful about those. The dates for those are July 21st to August 2nd. Now I looked at the air just to get an idea of what air looked like, and we will have to leave 2 days early. So we have to, if you're gonna go on that trip, we need to leave the US July 19th, and then we'll get back either August 2nd or 3rd. Now I noticed on the return, there's a long layover in Moscow. So it might be worth it to just tack on a couple of nights that, we might end up tacking on a little bit there. It's too soon to tell. But anyway, there's no change to that trip. It's the same as it was when it was posted. I just wanted to, that's that. Yeah, so everything is on the website. It looks like good. Okay, and now the Grand Canyon, Terry.
Okay. So the Grand Canyon trip was originally scheduled June 20th through the 27th of 21. And that one has been canceled and rescheduled in August of 21. And the reason for doing that was nothing to do with COVID. It was just a scheduling thing and I guess just kind of a business decision. So the result of that though is the itinerary is basically the same itinerary. The difference is, and it's a little disappointing, is that the first itinerary stopped in Williams and you took the Grand Canyon Railroad up to the rim. Well, in this one, we drive up to the rim and I believe we stay there. So, so the itinerary is a little bit different. We're cutting out that railroad. Otherwise it's the same. We go to all the same places and I won't go over that, but the price decreased. It went from $25.75 down to $22.85. And it ends in Las Vegas. And so, of course, might tack on a day or two in Vegas while we're there. So, I guess that's always an option when you're in Vegas. The only thing was I wasn't overly excited about the hotel they're using. So I was working to see if I could get a different hotel. There's one night in Vegas, that's part of the trip, and I wanted to add at least one. So, like I said, the price dropped, and that one is open for RSVPs. And I don't know, it's August now. I feel like that one, it's also a Globus trip. So I feel like that one's probably, I feel confident in that one that
Carrie,
it'll go.
we have a question here.
Yeah. Well,
It's asking where the trip is posted.
well, how about we answer that one at the end?
Okay,
Where all
I'm
the
gonna write that down so we don't forget.
Yeah.
How to, where trips are posted. Okay, we will answer where the trips are posted at the end. Where trips.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's the Grand Canyon. And Tuscany is next. Tuscany is still scheduled for September 4th through the 16th. And that is, let me see, yeah, that is 7 nights in Tuscany in Montecatini. And then if it's after that one, nothing's changed with that. It's still open, and I did start taking deposits for that now this week. Couple people that had the welcome back credits are taking advantage of that. So we're starting to collect deposits for that. And I will say that it is going to be a limited number in the group. Some of the companies are limiting the number of people in a group. And I gotta say that one's almost full. So, oh, we never talked about the wait list. If you're signing up for a trip, and this is probably a little bit more information for newer people. If you're signing up for a trip and you see that it looks like it's full, get on the wait list, because just because it looks like the trip is full on the site, it really depends on the deposits paid, and not everybody who RSVPs pays their deposit. So when it gets a little closer in, we start to say, okay, we have 3 spaces left, and who wants it?
Yeah.
Always stay on the wait list if you're really interested.
Especially for the 2022 trips. I mean, they're so far out, a lot can happen between now and then. So
Yeah.
if you don't get in on a trip, get on that wait list, and chances are you're gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what about the Vienna, Budapest, and whatever by rail, Terry?
Well, that one, I took it off quite a while ago. It got canceled by Globus, nothing to do with COVID. They are not offering that itinerary anymore. And my co-leader, Nancy, was going to lead that one. And she wanted that itinerary because it went from Budapest to Vienna to Prague by high-speed train. And so they offered as an alternate trip to do that by bus. And she said, no, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend my time on a bus. I want to spend my time in the cities. Did not come up with an alternative for that. So as of right now, that one's canceled, and there's no plans to put it back on the calendar. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we just did those 3 cities, so that was anyway. Okay, the next one up is the Amazon River Cruise with Rio de Janeiro and Iguazu Falls. And again, all of the ones that we're talking about in detail, we're hopeful of. And that's not until next October. The dates on that one have not changed. And actually, I didn't write down what the dates are, but I have it right here. It is, all right, let's see here. The dates on, October 12th to the 22nd. So the air is not yet available. Where did I write that down? Okay. So the air is not yet available. The price is still the same. There haven't been any changes. I did see that American Airlines has good lift there. So when the air does open up, that would probably be the airline I would pick. I like American anyway. That trip is currently full, but I predict that there will be cancellations. So get on the wait list if you want to go. It's a really cool trip. And anyway, that's that. Next up is Antarctica.
Yeah. Nancy, just wanted to say the scenic, Nancy says they do a scenic trip from Budapest, Vienna, Prague, Christmas markets. We did the Christmas markets last year and we don't have room to put anything else in 2021.
Yeah.
But,
I see
but thanks
another-
for the idea.
Yeah. I see another question about a trip. This meetup is just about our joint trips. Any
Yeah.
individual trips? Whoops. Yeah, so this is
Yeah.
just about our trips that we are sharing with both meetups. Anyway, next up is Antarctica.
Antarctica. December 8th, probably be the day we have to leave. It's still going as far as I know. I mean, geez, if in 15 or, well, I guess it's only 13 months now. If
Yeah.
in 15 months we're still worrying about this, I'm just going to be done. So we are still going, and this is, I don't know when we'll do this again. This is the third time it's been offered, and I don't know if you'll have another opportunity with us to go to Antarctica. So I thought I'd just cover it. It is one that does a Drake Passage both ways. There's no flying. I have Category 3 rooms on hold through the end of the year, but they have warned me that they will take them. They don't have many cabins left, so they will take them if other people are signing up and want to buy them. And I said, well, you'll please warn me first, right? And they said they would. I don't know if that's a guarantee or not, but they have already warned me that they will take those rooms away if they have buyers for them. So for now, they're still sitting on hold. I can't really tell you how many I have. I want to say like 4.
That's a great trip.
Yeah.
We've done that trip before. It's with G Adventures on the expedition. You have the opportunity to kayak, to camp on the ice. That is an amazing trip.
And Category 3 is now at $10,499. There was a little discount for a period of time, and the deposit is $1,000. And if you decide not to go or cancel, you don't lose that deposit. They keep it for your lifetime, and you can use it on any other trip. So again, your investment is, protected, at least with them. So if anybody's interested in that, give me a call. I do need a couple roommates for people, so I'm looking for some help from you guys.
Okay, so now that completes 2021 next year. Now we're going to move on to 2022, so you can see how things, what's happened, any changes, because we have made some changes to the trips that are going in 2022, some of them. The first one is the Thailand trip.
Thailand. Constantly.
Maybe the third time's the charm.
Yeah, hopefully. I think in February of 22, I think we're definitely going. I'm really sure. But the itinerary has changed a little bit. We were going from Phuket to Singapore, and now we will be going from Singapore to Phuket. So that has changed. Otherwise, none of the stops have. However, one thing that they are doing, first it was just for the people that were going to transfer. Everybody who is signed up on this trip at this point is paid in full. I mean, we were going in March, so almost a year ago. So they said, well, if you transfer again, we will now give you 10% off, which I have verified is not 10% off of what we were paying. It's 10% off of the cost of the cruise in February of 22. So that equates to about a 6% discount for everybody, because the last time we rescheduled, they gave us $50 off. So if you take it off 22, it's about a 6% discount. Free gratuities. So that's a couple $100 savings, and a $200 onboard credit. So that's another $200, that you can spend while you're on the trip. And
Sherry, what are the dates? What are the new dates?
Oh, okay. They will honor that through March 20th of 21 if you pay your deposit by then. The new dates are February 12th through the 19th.
Wait, can you say that again? I was checking the chat. Go ahead.
February 12th through the 19th of 22.
Okay.
Yep. So and now the problem with that's the cruise.
I
That's
was
the
gonna say that's not enough days.
Yeah, that's the cruise. The 5-night Thailand land tour, I'm still working on whether to have it in front of the cruise or on the tail end of the cruise. And you know how I'm kind of determining that is trying to look at air and decide if there's any advantage to going one way or the other. And the problem is really that most of the airlines don't have their entire inventory out there. It's they've removed a lot of flights from their schedule. And of course, as things open back up, they're going to add more flights in. And right now, there's, you know, prices are a little bit lower than what we typically see. But as soon as things open back up, they're probably going to go up again. So there's this fine balance between, you know, when's a good time to buy. So,
Terry,
yeah.
I want to mention to the people, because the Thailand trip, if she puts the extension on the end of it,
Yeah,
it would
which
be
we're leaning
February
towards.
12th to the 24th. Now we have Lapland February 23rd. So you technically could do both, just in case, if it ends up at the end. If you wanted to, you'd go from like fire to ice, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
You could do both.
Yeah.
If I do it at the end, which we're kind of leaning towards, you would be ending in where would we end? Phuket on you'd be ending in Bangkok probably on February 24th, I think. And then you could that same day up to I think you can fly the same day and go up to wherever Lapland is. You fly north.
Yeah. Terry, somebody asked, do you have the new dates for the Grand Canyon, or are you still?
Yeah, they were August 13th through the 20th of 21.
Okay, August, did you get that in? It's Grand Canyon's August 13th to the 21st.
Yeah.
August 13 to 21. Okay, next up is Lapland. It's the same trip. They honored this price that we got before, and we just moved it a year ahead, and it still includes air. Anyway, so that's another one. If you didn't get in on it, get on the wait list, because 2022 is a ways off. And as we said before, that the after Lapland, that's going to be February 23rd. We leave the United States to March. Well, that's not right. It's to March 3rd. Anyway, to March 3rd. And then after that, we kind of that's where we left that slot open for Mekong or Paris or Georgia, you know, for February, for April, and actually for the end of March and April.
Yeah.
Most of March and April. And then after that is our 3 South Africa trips. We've got 3 sets of dates. I switched and I'm going out in the first set of dates because my birthday falls during that trip. So I thought I'll do that one. So anyway, so we've got a group going May 1st to the 14th. Now this is without the air factored in. And we've got one May 15th to the 28th. And we've got May 22nd to June 4th. And there is room for everybody on one of those trips. And we're going to get into the details on that later because it's so far out. We're not doing deposits or anything yet. But what we did is we did change the trip slightly. Now that we are not doing the gorillas and we don't have all these different pieces that we were putting together, everyone is doing the 2 nights Chobe, because I was really sorry I didn't get to do it because I was doing the gorillas. So now all 3 groups are doing Chobe. It's not optional. It adds 2 nights to the trip. The cost is $66.44 in a twin, to give you an idea. That doesn't include the airfare or the insurance. But that's the intra-tour air and the tour. It doesn't include insurance, air from the US, or tips, you know, the usual things that we haven't added in. So anyway, so that's what's going on with those. It's pretty much all of May. We're gonna have somebody in Africa, South Africa. So then, and we're not doing deposits yet, because, you know, we're still working on that one. And then next up is Nova Scotia. Wait, let's see if there's there's a question. Hold on. Hold the phone.
Oh, I don't have one.
Oh, no, it just says new dates for Grand Canyon. I already answered that. Okay. Oh, wait, maybe there was yeah, let's make sure that's what it was. Yep. Okay. All right. So then that is South Africa, 2022. Then next up is Nova Scotia.
Yeah, Nova Scotia is tentatively scheduled again for June 16th through the 24th of 22. And tentative, that's as far as I've gotten with it. I need to check on air vouchers that we got when we canceled the last one to make sure that we're going to be able to use them in time or get them extended. Air Canada just, you know, didn't feel like they had to abide by the US laws. I don't know why, maybe because they're in Canada. Again, I'm not taking that or any 2000 trip yet, the 21 stuff, but the only thing different about that one is last year when I, oh God, it says my internet's unstable. Last year when I booked it, I wanted to go to Oak Island, and Ann and I got up super early the morning the tickets to Oak Island went on sale, and we were poised at the computer, and the way they did it was just crazy. And, you know, I couldn't even get tickets. I didn't think it would be that difficult. I probably will approach that in a different way. Like, since we're going in June, if I want to go to Oak Island, you know, the tickets go on sale in February. Typically I should already have air. So depending on their calendar, I probably will just extend my own trip a couple of days and hope that I can get tickets on the weekend to go there. And they only have tours on the weekend. If anybody wants to do that with me, that's fine. But so that would probably be the only difference, is that I would probably take that extension off of the trip. So that's it for that one. Switzerland's next.
Yep, Switzerland.
And Sicily. Yeah.
Yeah, we tried to run it for next year, but not enough people, we didn't have enough for a group. Not enough people wanted to risk it for 21. So here it is in 22. Again, things, you know, this is today, things change. So we're currently looking at the similar time frame. It was end of June over 4th of July. I don't know what the itinerary is going to be. We're going to shoot for that same itinerary, but, you know, tour companies often change and tweak itineraries. So hopefully it'll be, now that one, a lot of people have vouchers for, so of course they have priority on that one. So that's the time frame we're looking at. If things clear up and we can get out of here sooner, well, we'll talk about that later. Let's, we'll talk about that at the end. Terry, New England?
So the question about South Africa, do you see it? When
I answered it, yeah.
Deposits?
I'm thinking, I wrote, what I replied for South Africa, I wrote early next year, probably. Always check your, if it's sooner, always check your emails, because we will send out, you know, notifications that way too. And I know some people with COVID, they're not at their computers as much, but do check. We are an online club, so you really have to check your emails frequently if you want to, you know, be in the know and do things in a timely way. All right.
Okay. And New England rescheduled for September 25th through October 2nd of 22. And, you know, I really, really wanted to reschedule this for 21, but we just couldn't fit it in. And this trip only goes 2 weeks out of the year. And so nicely, Mayflower agreed to honor the pricing for everybody that was already signed up. So they transferred at the same pricing. The trip in 22 for new people is only $100 more. But they also have the free air promo. They have a free air promo if you pay your deposit by November 30th. So the trip is $31.99, but that includes air if you pay your deposit by the end of this month. And when I reposted that, I had a lot of people RSVP for it, and I thought it was because of the free air promo, but only like 5 people paid their deposit. So I am taking deposits for that one. If you want the free air, probably need to talk to me in the next 2 weeks or so.
Okay, the next one is Silk Road, and that's the last one we're going to talk about because, good grief, we've got plans through the October of 22. Now that trip, I want to point out that if you do New England, that one will conflict with we're still having 2 groups doing Silk Road. We've made the groups a little bit smaller because, you know, we just could. We took the people that originally signed up and they got priority. And then the ones that weren't ready to commit, we just let that go. So the difference on Silk Road now is my group, the tour dates are September 28th to October 14th. The trip is really the same price. It looks like it's more because we had an optional Darvaza Crater and the tour, but with you add them together, it was $55.99. So it's really, and I think we added a night somewhere else too. So it's really, it went, yeah, so it didn't go up. It's just that we added more to it. The second group departs October 8th. And now if you are wanting to do New England and the Silk Road, then you would want to be in that second group. And it's a 16-day trip. So what is that? 16 and 8 is 24. So that would be October 8th to the 24th. The thing we found this year with Silk Road was because Turkish Air was our flight of choice, we needed to go out 2 days early because that flight leaves like at 10:30 at night. So you're really almost, you know, so even though the flight isn't that long, it took 2 calendar days to get there because you're leaving so late in the day. So anyway, so if you're going to do it, the air dates would, you know, we don't know what the air will be, but if it's like it was this year, it will be, the September group would leave on the 27th and the October group would leave on the October 7th. So that's that. And the first one is got a wait list on it, and the second one is still open, but there aren't very many spaces left on the second one either. So anyway, so that concludes all of the trips. Oh, I see we have some questions. Let me check the chat. How many people on the Silk Road trips? We're capping those, I believe it's 16. Wait a minute, I can tell you real quick here. Where is it? Oh my God. Notebook for each trip. That is capped at 2, 4, 6, 18 per group. Yeah. So, and there are still singles available on that too. People are interested. The single supplement, I forget what it is. Hold on, I can tell you. Okay. A single. Okay. So a single is $61.99 and a double is $55.99. So we've got a number of us are doing singles.
And can you go over Sicily again?
Yes, the Sicily is in limbo for the moment. We're looking, we've got it slotted for, where did it go? I'm looking at the big board here that I have everything on. Oh, no, it's way in the corner. We don't know where we're going to put it. It would probably be in, it would have to be September. Well, let's see, it's going to be in 22, so it would have to be August because September, either end of August, yeah, probably beginning Labor Day-ish is when we would put it there. That one is because that was such a complicated trip and I put it together myself with, you know, the Aeolian Islands and all those weird places. So yeah, so that one it's undecided. If we can get it on the calendar for August, for 2022, it will be around Labor Day. And that way it won't interfere with New England or Switzerland. So that's that. Okay, did that answer that? All right, so now I think Terry, before we unmute you guys for your questions, we wanted to discuss a couple of things. Terry, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so if we end up moving everything in the beginning of 21 over to 22, we'll have a gap there. We'll have some free time. And we're starting to think of maybe some last minute trips we can do. Don't really have anything written in stone or any real solid ideas. We're kind of waiting to see what happens. But if things improve and those trips are canceled or moved to 22, we might want to do some last minute stuff. So like she said, keep an eye on your email. And I would also say so many people say they, like Robin was saying, they don't get the emails. And you know, 3 years ago, Meetup sold itself to somebody and they took away a lot of capabilities. And so we found that what sometimes works for people is if you go into your notifications and turn them off, log out, and so you gotta have your password, and then log back in and turn the notifications on. Sometimes that takes care of it, because people have said that they have them turned on and they're still not getting the emails. And I had to do it to myself. So, because I wasn't getting emails about my own group. So do it too. So that's one thing. And like I said, we're thinking about some last minute trips. And then I think when Ann unmutes you, we kind of want your opinion of how often should we do some updates like this? It wouldn't be at this extent. It might be, you know, maybe on a couple of trips, or maybe we have, you know, 4 or 5 trips we want to talk about. But how often, you know, should we just do kind of a general information?
Yeah, like quarterly or
Yeah,
this one
monthly, by every 2 months. Yeah,
It wouldn't be like this because this is a culmination of, you know, March, April, May, June, July, August, and almost a year's worth of changes. So now it'll be a question of tweaking what we've told you tonight. So it won't be as as involved as this. So, okay, somebody already gave an answer here. Quarterly.
quarterly.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if you want to unmute people or how you want to do.
Yeah, I figured we'd do, we were talking about that. I just want to say something else about the last minute trips. Terry and I were trying to decide if we should mention things that we have in mind, and we decided no, because in case it doesn't happen. But but remember, these are trips. It would be trips, and the reason we would do a last minute trip is because we're going nowhere in January. We're going nowhere in February. So if all of a sudden there's a vaccine, you know, let's say best case scenario, and everybody really wants to go somewhere in January and February, well, we've got some ideas of places to go, and we would post them pretty quickly. So anyway, but we're not going to tell you the ideas we have, but we do have a lot of good ideas. And the other good thing I want to mention is with all the trips that we've rescheduled and got, once things open up, there's going to be a mad grab for hotel rooms and airline tickets and all this stuff. So we're poised to go. I mean, so we're lucky. All the groups are lucky that we are holding physical space for everybody on all these trips. So, you know, the one thing we're not holding in most cases is the airfare. So other than that, you know, you're hearing people on the news say, boy, once this goes, it's, you know, boom. But we are in a good position that we've already got stuff sitting here waiting for us to go on. So I think that's about it. Terry, should I go ahead and unmute everybody?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, wait, we got four chats.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see these now.
Well, yeah, now I lost one of them, but.
Okay, here Nancy wrote, would you consider doing subgroup travel arrangements for those of us that would like to travel in 21? Yes. Lynette writes, maybe alternate Zoom with email or provide a written summary to follow along as you talk. Good idea. We could send out a recap of this.
Yeah.
We
pretty much wrote it up for ourselves.
Yeah, good idea. Trips are already selling out with Globus and Cosmos for 21. And that's exactly why we are holding on to what we've got. Yeah, but we have other
And-
vendors too that,
Yeah.
that are lesser known that have space and that we can work with too.
And that is true. And they're also selling out in 22 because people are moving, rescheduling trips from 2020 and 21 to
Yeah.
22. So I actually looked at moving the trip to the Grand Canyon back to June, and there's no space available. So, yeah,
Okay.
June of 21 is full for the Grand Canyon. So
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna unmute everybody. So it says I have to ask you to unmute you. So I'm asking you all. So now the ball is in your court. You have to unmute yourself. Okay.
And this may be super obvious, but where is this website? I couldn't figure out Meetup and I couldn't figure out the website.
Oh, shoot. Now, are you in My Travel Meetup or Travel Divas and Dudes?
I am in My Travel Meetup and
Okay.
I reserved by calling someone because that I could figure out.
Okay, all right. Just go to mytravelmeetup.com and it'll direct you to the site. Now, are you able to RSVP and see the trips on the website?
I have no idea.
Okay, step one would be to go to Meetup, and then you want to go to or type in your browser www.mytravelmeetup.com.
Uh-huh.
And that should take you there. If you're not a member already, you've got to fill out the form and I'll approve you.
Well, that's the thing. I am a member and I'm interested in Morocco, but right now it's not an upcoming event, so I don't know where to find it.
You know what? You have to click on it where it says see all. They keep redoing the page. So when you get to the main page, it's got the picture of the header and then it says events, and you click on events and then it'll say upcoming and you click see all, and you just got to keep scrolling down and let the page refresh the page and then keep going down because there's a lot of meetups between now and then. So you just have to be patient. Sorry about that. Yeah.
And then once you find it, they'll all list on the right side of the screen. Once you find it, click anywhere in that announcement and it'll open up the entire description.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Terry, I have a comment for you.
Yes.
Okay, this is Carol.
Yeah, I see you.
Okay. Now, the Nova Scotia trip, remember, if you're going to go to Oak Island, I want to go with you.
Okay. I know I have a couple of fans that want to go.
Yeah.
The new season just started. Yay.
Yeah. You know, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, I do still want to try and go, but it's tricky. I didn't realize how hard it was to get tickets.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Let's see.
I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, next, if we do it again, everybody who wants to go is going to be online trying to get a ticket.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was terrible. We go on there every day and it's like, oh.
Yeah, we went on every day for the longest time. I went on like 3 or 4 times a day looking for cancellations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are these people buying them months in advance?
Oh, they go on sale February 1st and they're sold out within about 40 minutes for the whole
Yeah.
season. Yeah.
It's
You
like
almost
trying to get concert tickets, you know.
You
Yeah.
have to s- online or phone, whatever you're using, at midnight. So when that clock turns over,
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
the first one on the line.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Have the trips to South Africa been posted?
Yeah, all the trips we talked about are out there. But
Oh, I
they're in
didn't realize-
chronological order, so you got to keep scrolling.
Yeah, I think South Africa, oh no, it's not last anymore.
No.
No, last is Silk Road.
Way out in 22 though. You gotta keep.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, and I didn't realize you'd reposted it with the new, excuse me, with the new dates. I didn't realize they'd been reposted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're on there though, because I sent out the email to everybody who was already signed up for it. And
So am I on one of those trips?
well, you're RSVP'd on the same one again.
Oh, okay.
Like Ann said, everybody who you know, RSVP, if you were going before, you know, you're guaranteed to be on one of the 3 groups.
And then my second question was, you said that we have to send in the deposit for the New England trip? Because that's,
Want the
You get
free
the
air.
free air.
because that's way in 22.
Mm-hmm. The free air promotion goes through November 30th of 2020.
Okay, the previous trip was a reduced air. This is a free air?
Yeah, and the price comes out, the price evens out, and the price is $100 more for the trip, including air,
Oh,
22.
okay.
Yeah. I can't
Okay.
remember, Marilyn, were you signed up to go last time?
Yes,
Oh, well, then you still get,
I know, but I haven't paid a deposit.
oh,
All right, let's
I don't
see
think-
if Cheryl Cohn can, oh, there you are. Wait, Cheryl, you just said, can we hear you? No, you're unmuted, but there's something wrong on your end with your microphone. Yeah, sorry, you're,
Unmute on her end.
yeah, you're unmuted.
Type her a message.
And Linda and Sue, you're still muted. Betty, you're still muted if you want to be. I know if you have a TV on, I know some people, where's Debbie? Okay. All right. So are there any other questions?
Yeah,
I'm
I
still
was
monitoring
wondering,
the chat, so if you can't talk to us, you can ask a question on the chat. Oh, Nancy?
yeah, I was wondering, can we, this thing about, you know, subgroups, you know, there's a group like from Wisconsin that I traveled with a year ago, and we keep corresponding back. Hi, Kathy, love you. Anyways, you know, we keep going, well, do you want to go travel here? Do you want to travel here? Can we start something on the discussion pages of My Meetup? And if we get a group together of 10 or so, can we book it for you?
Terry, are you talking to me or Terry?
For both of you.
Well, yeah, I don't know why not.
we
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a group of us that still want to do, I know Kathy Mary Ann was the one who brought the scenic cruise to my attention. And so, I mean, if we get a group of 5 or 6 or 10.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know what,
You
Nancy?
guys, wouldn't you?
If you have something, pick something specific, and then if you have a bunch of people want to do it, call one of us. Either
Yeah.
call the travel agency or call Terry.
But can we do,
Yeah, we work with Scenic a lot. Yeah.
do it on the discussion on My Meetup? Is that okay?
Well, I don't, the problem, yeah, it depends upon when it is. It'd be better to run it through us first.
Yeah.
Because we don't want it if it conflicts with something, so contact us first.
Well,
And,
and then there is another thing, and I was going to bring it up on Monday with you, Ann, when we do the My Way.
uh-huh.
I'm going to be doing the Camino through Cosmos Globus.
I know, I just got the book. I looked at it.
Well, I was supposed to do it last September, was canceled because of the pandemic. And so I'm scheduled for next year. And I thought if there was anyone else that might be interested in doing it, they're already booking up because it's Jubilee year
Yeah,
there.
yeah. You know
And
what? Again, that's something that I'd rather you talk to me privately about, because if it's the same time frame as something else, I don't want to, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot and have people, but yeah, we'll talk. It's so funny you said that, because I just got their new book today and I dog-eared it, and I believe it starts in Madrid, and then they,
Right, it's one incredible trip. I researched all of them, and it's not as difficult as some of the other trips.
Right, because they're long, but you do about 15 miles a day. It was 9 to 15 miles a day. I got the book right here.
Right, I know it by heart. I know the details, but anyways, there's so many of us. Well, just the small group, I only went on one trip with My Meetup, and just that small group, we had so much fun. There's other things we're interested in doing, but not the trips that you have scheduled.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's gonna benefit.
Well, then that would be something, if you have a bunch of your friends that want to go, we do that all the time for people.
It's not my friends, it's
families.
Meetup friends
Yeah, yeah,
from this group.
yeah. Well, you know what? Again, that's something that we should discuss privately. you know,
Okay.
what dates you have and everything, and we'll figure out the best plan of attack on that. Again, it's, you know, we probably wouldn't post it on Meetup because, yeah, you know what, let's talk about it. Call me,
Okay.
you know, and we'll talk about it. It's so funny you said that because I was looking at it and then I thought, well, 15 miles a day isn't that bad. But,
Well, I'm not talking just about that, but I
yeah,
mean, it would be wonderful if there are other people interested that we get a group, but there's
right.
other
You
things
know
I'm
what,
less
if
interested
we
in.
spread ourselves too thin, it is just too much. I mean,
Well,
we're
we're not
only two
spreading you
people.
thin. We're
Yeah.
forming our own little group, but we want to keep it connected with you so that you get the benefit of the,
Right, right.
you know.
Anyway, yeah,
to
I'm
go
gonna
on
say,
and-
let's talk about
Okay.
that. Let's talk about that later. And right now, call me and we'll talk about that later because
Okay.
I'd be curious your dates and all that stuff. But that, yeah, we'll talk about that together later.
Okay.
Okay, all right, thanks, Nancy. Anybody else?
This is Kathy. I just want to tell you and Nancy, or you and Terry, that you guys have done an amazing job with trying to fiddle everything around, move everything around, getting everything refunded, rebooked. So thank you very much for your efforts and for all of your hard work.
Thank you, thank you. It
Thank you, Kathy.
was crushing. It was heartbreaking. Yeah, it's one thing to be excited and put something together and then have dinner meetups and presentations, and then it's another thing to dismantle everything. It was like,
I got a surprise this week, you know, for the South Africa trip. I booked my air flight through British Air because I was doing my layover in London and then down to Cape Town. So when this whole pandemic thing hit, I said, I'll just take a credit, you know,
yeah.
I won't mess with it. On Monday, deposited into my bank account was a full refund, including upgraded tickets, everything. I never asked for it.
Yeah.
They gave the full thing. So
What airline was it? Yeah, we got our refunds from Qatar like within 2 days. They were
Right.
so good.
So
They
my
went
ticket
like that.
price was like $5,500 because
Yeah.
I was going to London and then Cape Town and then back and
Yeah,
a lot of things. And I didn't even request a refund. I just requested.
You know what? They probably canceled the flight. One
They
of
did
those
a
segments
portion
were
of them.
probably canceled.
They
What?
did a portion on them. I'm just saying, if anyone's still waiting for something from the pandemic thing, it just really is incredible how they're stepping up.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Yeah, we had to put in for them all because we booked them. So it was quite a process. Some were better than others. Some are still.
Oh yeah, with British Air, it took me a week and a half.
It depends on the airline. Yeah.
But anyways, they all came through, and American Airlines for the other trips I had, they've done well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, American was pretty good.
Yeah. Anybody have anything to
Hey, Ann?
ask about in regards to what we went over tonight?
And
Yes?
just a
Hear you,
little
but I don't see you.
comment.
Oh, there you are.
Okay, global entry. Guess where I
Okay.
had to go this morning?
What?
To the airport.
Did you
Oh,
get
you
your
got your
appointment?
interview?
Finally, there are appointments out there. They
Okay.
opened a whole mess of them.
Oh,
Morning.
Terry Fees, are you still on here?
Who?
Terry Fees?
Terry, are you still here? I don't see her.
Yes, I'm
Oh,
on.
there she is.
Did you get an appointment?
No, but I'm gonna go check on it as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, there's lots of appointments because I checked 2 days ago and I took it right away. I said, I'm
Was that for Milwaukee or Chicago?
Chicago.
Okay, good, thank you.
All right, so anyone.
We could do a road trip.
Appointment.
I'm in.
Anybody else?
Anybody else? Reggie? Oh, I thought she was gonna say something. No. All right, well, it's 8 o'clock. We're pretty good. If you have any more questions, speak up now. I think we're good. If you're shy, you can use the chat box, but I think, Terry, what do you think? Should we adjourn this thing?
Yeah, I think so. And if anybody has any ideas of things we can do over the winter to keep in touch with everybody, send us an
That's
email.
the thing, the January, February, if we did some last minute stuff, we could, you know, we could do warm weather, or we could do, well, I don't want to say, I mean, I've already got things kind of, we're looking at stuff. But yeah, but if something, shoot us an email if you have an idea, and we'll have a look at it.
Oh, I just figured out how this thing works.
Well,
Oh,
Well, I have to thank you guys, Ann, and I don't do as much with you, Terry, but Ann, you've really gotten me through this pandemic.
oh, well, thank
Through
you.
your pages and everything else, it's been entertaining, and
Yeah, join us on Facebook. Yeah.
I
Thank
have
you.
still been on lockdown because of I take care of my mother who will be 98 shortly,
Oh my gosh.
and so I've had to stay isolated from
Yeah.
everybody. So I just want to say you've done.
Oh.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh.
Your stuff has been so entertaining. It's
Oh.
my God.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, well, thank you. That's nice to hear. Yeah, I just, there's so much doom and gloom out there. It's nice to just set it all aside and think of something better to think about. So.
I think we miss you picking on Eric. You need to pick on Eric some more.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't interrupted us yet. He told me I broke a cabinet. I'm like, no, I didn't. It's broke it. Anyway, yeah. So, well, it's so good to see everybody. Oh my gosh. We
I
missed you.
can't wait till we can have dinner again. So
I know.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely
Well,
miss
anyway,
the
but it's nice to see all your faces and hear your voices at least. So,
Can I ask a question?
Sure, Linda.
With the Silk Road, what is Regina's part in the Silk Roads? Because I'm scheduled to do the trip with her, but what is her exact? So I see you two.
she's organizing that one, so she's going on it also. And so both of those trips, neither of us have ever been there. I don't speak Uzbeki or whatever they speak there or anything. So what we're going to do, our job, her job and my job is to prepare you for the trip, to take care of all the bookkeeping, do the payments and everything. And then once we get there, we have a guy that lives there, a local, and then he takes over, and then we just kind of make sure everybody's having fun. I forgot who I was talking to. Where'd you go?
You're talking to me. So Regina is leading the
Moved. I can't find you. Oh, there you are.
the
Somebody
trip
must have
that I
left.
have signed up for.
Uh-huh.
So I guess I don't know her.
Yeah.
Does she have the same role in all of this that both you and Terry
Yes.
have?
Yes. She's the leader of that group. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And
If I
actually,
remember,
she's been
we set that
doing
one up. We set
what?
that one up because some people feel like there's just too much Ann on these trips.
I know. It's like, oh, we've had it. Yeah. But yeah, it's that I was so crushed because I kept holding out hope for that trip this year. And I think I kept saying to Robin, I said, well, if they shut down that border, I've got to, we both had tickets to Istanbul and then to Ashgabat, of all places. And I thought, well, we could go to Istanbul and then we'll, go to those cave hotels and go to, I've been to Turkey before, but there's a lot of little out of the way place. I haven't been to Pamukkale or however you say that, Pamukkale, and I hadn't been there. And I thought, oh, we'll do that. And then, the whole thing kind of fell apart. So.
And Turkish Air became the only airline ticket I held that actually gave me my money back.
Yay!
Oh,
Well, I know.
wow.
I've got a list of all your vouchers, so I'm trying to be sensitive to those.
They're just the two, but it's noticeable.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyway.
Okay, so any questions? I'll be in my office all day tomorrow.
Yep. Okay, well, I think I'm going to end this meeting. Goodbye, everybody. Good to see you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
We'll get
everyone.
through this.
Take care.
Good to
Stay
see you.
safe.
You too. Be safe,
Bye,
everybody.
keep busy. Don't drink too much.
Yeah. Bye-bye.